Alright, so I might be late to the punch talking about these Arcade1Up cabinets, but still, I see not many YouTubers that aren't hardcore arcade enthusiasts talking about these, so why not give my 2 cents on them, as I'm pretty passionate about this type of thing. So a company going by Arcade1Up plan on re-releasing arcade games in these slightly mini home arcade units. They retail for about $300, which is a bit pricey, but it's better than what they were planning on going on being $400. Guess it was in part to Walmart deciding to lower the price range first to hopefully get more people on board to buy these, because before I even get into the details, I could really see this only targeting retro gamers and once again the hardcore arcade enthusiasts, as I really don't see someone that mainly plays a PS4 or Xbox One getting one of these. Also, you're always going to have the people that make stupid remarks like buying a Raspberry Pi instead, or just emulating it on their phone for free. If you're perhaps one of those people, let me just say, these aren't targeted towards you. Rather, if you're the type of person that wants the closest experience to playing these games besides owning and maintaining a $2,000 machine, these are the types of things for you. That's what really got me hooked on these cabinets. The fact that these are home arcade machines being sold at an actual store, which is rare to see rather than just some random website, but also for the fact that these are actually licensed products. No piracy involved, you just plug it in and it's ready to go. Sure, main machines are always going to be around and have a place in our hearts. In fact, I got one myself, but I can't deny the official artwork plastered across the cabinets and how each cabinet is tailor-made for the games on it. Gotta say, I want quite a few of these myself when I get the cash. So how about I actually talk about what the cabinets contain. So Arcade1Up will be selling 4 different cabinets in September, exactly on September 25th, with one coming out in 2019, and thanks to leaks from Walmart and GameStop, 2 more will be sold around the winter holiday season. As already mentioned, these will be available at $300, and they contain about 5 to 3 games each for the most part. All of them really stick out, and an easy way to tell that is by the games and the controller pad. So the Asteroids cabinet contains of course Asteroids, but also Tempest, Major Havoc, and Lunar Lander. Now I personally haven't heard of Lunar Lander or Major Havoc, but I am familiar with Asteroids and Tempest. Now I mentioned before that these cabinets stick out from each other from the games in the control pad, and if you see on the Asteroids cabinet, it actually doesn't have a joystick, rather it has a dial. That's because games like Tempest were created to be played on a dial rather than a joystick. With this little detail, you can already tell that Arcade1Up has put some serious effort in these cabinets, and I really haven't seen another home arcade cabinet compilation really attempt this. Usually it's just a joystick or some buttons. Who knows, maybe even with Asteroids, instead of using the buttons to turn your character, you can switch over and use the dial to turn instead. It seems interesting, but personally I don't see myself making this cabinet a top priority to get other than playing Tempest, as it's probably my favorite out of 4. The second cabinet on the side states that it's a Midway Classic Arcade, so it's no doubt that all 4 games here are from Midway. Interestingly, with the games provided on here being multiplayer focused, Arcade1Up decided to make this cabinet theme focused around 3 players at once. As you see here, there are 3 sets of controls which will be used for games like Rampage and Gauntlet. I've heard of Defender and Joust, but I don't think those are multiplayer focused. My only concern about the cabinet will be the width of it. I don't know, when I talk about the size of the cabinet later, it seems that 3 players could potentially be a bit cramped playing this. The third cabinet is pretty cool, being trackball themed with games from Atari like Centipede, Crystal Castles, Missile Command, and Millipede. Just like the Asteroids cabinet, really impressive that Arcade1Up managed to get a trackball working with Centipede, as from what I've heard, the only proper way to play Centipede is with a trackball. This might be a cabinet I look into, if not only because I know my mother's a fan of Centipede. The fourth cabinet's what got my money thrown at the screen, and overall, it seems like it's going to be the most popular one Arcade1Up is going to sell. I'm of course talking about the Street Fighter 2 compilation cabinet. Street Fighter 2 is of course the legendary fighting game created by Capcom that literally shaped the genre. With this cabinet, not only you get 3 iterations of the game, being Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Super Turbo, and the new challengers, but you also get 2 6-button arcade controllers so you could jump in right in the multiplayer like as it was in the arcade. I personally suck at Street Fighter 2, but it was one of the reasons I wanted to build my own main machine. Plus with the really nice looking cabinet front, I want this in my home. It's been my dream since I was 10 to have a Street Fighter cabinet of any kind in my home, and Arcade1Up has potentially made it possible. Sure, only having 3 Street Fighter 2 games might be disappointing to the casual buyer, but these 3 games are totally different gameplay wise. Plus, if you want more Capcom games, they are on the way. They've been announced for originally September 25th, but they've been delayed. That other Capcom cabinet's coming on the way, but I think it was delayed mainly because of licensing issues. It is coming in spring 2019 though, so you don't have to wait that long. The games included are Final Fight, Ghosts and Goblins, 1944, and Strider. I'm a fan of a lot of Capcom series like Strider and Final Fight, but I've never actually personally played them. And while I haven't heard of 1944, I'm well familiar with Ghosts and Goblins. In fact, I own the NES version of the game, but I've never played the arcade version, and I bet there's some major differences. If I'm satisfied with the Street Fighter 2 cabinet, this would probably be the next one I would pick up. Not only get a great selection of games, you also have, once again, a great 2-player setup going. As I mentioned at the start of the video, there were 2 more cabinets that were leaked from Walmart and GameStop that were supposed to be revealed in October, but why not talk about them now. The first cabinet was leaked via Walmart, and it's still up on their site right now. They're going to market it as a Walmart exclusive. It's the only Namco property currently being in the works, and it's the Galaga cabinet. Now, while it may seem a bit expensive, as for $300, you're only getting Galaga and Galaxian with this cabinet, I still say it's worth it. Galaga and Galaxian are the famous duo when it comes to shoot 'em ups, and I own so many copies of Galaga it isn't even funny. I got friends who love it, and it's one of the few arcade games both my parents can enjoy, so whenever this gets a proper release date, I might try to aim for it around Christmas. Alright, so the last cabinet. Now this one was leaked via GameStop, and it's probably going to be exclusive for them, and it's the 40th anniversary Space Invaders cabinet. Now info for this is pretty scarce, as the only sites that have info on it are in another language which I could barely translate, but from the looks of it, the machine seems to only contain Space Invaders, and while it's Space Invaders, I can't see this selling better than the Galaga cabinet. Hopefully more information about this will come out in the future. So before I wrap this up, how about I talk about the physical side of these cabinets and give a few suggestions about future cabinets. As I mentioned, they're working on licensings in 2019 for cabinets containing the Simpsons arcade game, Turtles in Time, and Mortal Kombat. I would love to see a few more. But first, regarding specs, size-wise each cabinet will weigh around 63 pounds. Since it's really just running an emulator, it won't weigh at all compared to the cabinets they're emulating. Height is a bit smaller than a regular cabinet, being about 4 feet tall, and that's really because these are designed to be more of a sit down on a stool type of deal. But if you want to stand up like myself, they offer a riser you can buy, or you just build your own at the fraction of the price. I think the risers are going to be about $60 each, and I hope they could cut the cost in half. You have to assemble these machines yourself. Based off the instruction video, it seems as easy as IKEA furniture, but then again, some IKEA furniture can be tough. But these look alright. Monitor wise, expect a 17-inch LCD screen, but from the looks of some images, it might just be my eyes fooling me, but some of these screens look bigger than others. What do you guys think? Okay, so finally almost to the end. I just want to give quick ideas for future cabinets, if you guys don't mind of course. Now, I am shocked that only one Namco property is here, that is the Galaga series. I have asked the media team on Twitter, and they said they are looking into getting the Pac-Man license, so right now what would be a cool idea is to have a Pac-Man themed cabinet with Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, as those are the 3 classic retros, and for a modern game, possibly Championship Edition, as that did get an arcade release. In fact, in this weird fantasy, I would love to see Arcade1Up manage to sell us a 4-player cabinet with Pac-Man Battle Royale. Jesus Christ, if they manage to give us a Battle Royale cabinet, that would be the best one on their list of non-fighting game cabinets. Space-wise, sure, once again, it might be a little cramped, but really, you're just using the one arm to control Pac-Man with a joystick, so everybody should be able to space out easier. Now I mentioned if they manage to do a Battle Royale cabinet, that would be the best non-fighting game cabinet they have. So what would be the best fighting game cabinet? Well, it was a tie between a King of Fighters cabinet containing games like 98 and such, but that could be its own Neo Geo compilation, not just King of Fighter games. Well, what I want to see is a Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 cabinet. I can't see this actually happening because of the Marvel license, but if they could get Simpsons and Turtles in Time in 2019, there's a slimmer of hope. In fact, if they manage to do a Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet, I personally believe that would be the best selling cabinet, as everyone, including the fighting game community, will be all over it. If my ramblings about these things interest you in checking these out yourself, there will be a link to the website in the description where you can pre-order them. What are you guys' thoughts on the Arcade1Up line of cabinets? Tell me down in the comments below. I also got social media links and a Patreon in the description too. And as always, I am Cybershoom, hoping you have a good one.